Hello everyone. Today we are going to look up the solutions of quiz 1 of mathematics, which was held in January 2022. So these solutions are actually given in the websites of Iit Madras. So I am just explaining it to you, and there are two sets which are having the same questions. So having the understanding of set 1 will lead to the successful completion of set 2. Okay. So let's start. So the first question says that Rx is the polynomial which is obtained as a quotient after dividing the polynomial Px and the polynomial Qx. Okay, so choose the correct options. So let us look into the solution. So given that Px is equal to this thing, okay, and we can write this this factor as, we can further factorize this factor as x plus 4 into x minus 4, which is evident here. Okay, and qx is nothing but minus of x minus 4 into x plus 4. So rx is the quotient which is obtained after dividing px by qx. So we are just dividing it here. Okay, so the minus will get cancelled in both of them, and these two things will get cancelled. Okay, we are again left with only x plus 5 into x minus 3. So from this we can conclude that there are two roots. Okay, so first root is minus 5 and the other is 3. So if we can see that there are only two roots and this rx doesn't contain any of the negative sign here, so this is nothing but a parabola, okay, which is directed upwards. Okay, so from the options we are having, so this is the answer actually. So why this is the answer? Because this is an upward parabola and this is having roots as minus 5 and 3. So this is the correct option, and this one is not correct because the root is wrong. It's 5, but the root actually is minus 5. Okay, so this has correct root, but this is actually a downward parabola. This could have been the scene if we are having we would have this a minus sign in the rx, which we are not having. Okay, this is not having any minus sign, so it would be an upper parabola. So this option is again eliminated, and this is, of course, if this is wrong then this would be also wrong. So the only correct answer is this. Okay, now let's move forward. Yeah, this question. So this question says that R, the given relation, be a relation on the set A B C D. The relation R is a function. So for R to be a function in A, it is compulsory that it must be having, you know, all these ordered pairs with each of these things. So we are having for A, D, B, but B is again, you know, repeated, which violates the very definition of function. So this is not a function. Okay, in a function there has to be a unique mapping with each element of set in the domain to the, you know, codomain. Okay, so reflexive, for a relation to be reflexive, it must contain elements such as a b b c c or dt, which is and even a single from among these is not available in our relations. So this again, this option is also eliminated. So what is the transitive relation? Transitive said that R is not, it says that R is not transitive as for the pairs such as AC, CA, there is no AA. So there is one pair AC, there is one pair CA, but to make it transitive, the existence of a pair AA is also very necessary, which won't completely make it transitive, but will make a chance to make this as a transitive relation, which is not there. So it's also not transitive. So what is a symmetric relation? If AC is there, then CA has to be also there. If DB is there, BD is there. But if BC is there, then there is no CB. Okay, so this relation is not symmetric, hence this option is correct. Okay, so let's move ahead. Yeah, this is an interesting one. So for the purpose of research, a survey of 1,000 students is conducted in IIT Madras BSc degree program. The result shows that 52% like CT, 45% like statistics, and 60% like mathematics. In addition, 25 like both CT and statistics, 28% like both mathematics and statistics, and 30% like both CT and mathematics. Okay, so and 6% like none of these subjects. Okay, based on this information, answer the following question: how many students like all the three subjects? Okay, so what we are having with in our question, so number of students who liked CT is 52%, and who liked statistics is 45%, who liked mathematics is 60%. Okay, and it is also given that the number of students who like both CT and statistics. So we know that for and we use this set operation called intersection. Okay, which generally denotes and if we put it into words. Okay, so it is 25%, it is given here, and the people who like both statistics and mathematics are 28%, and who like CT and mathematics is 30%. Okay, and there is also there is also a major information given, which is since 6% like none of the subjects, so n of CT union S union M would be 94%. Okay, so 6% are liking none of them, and we have 100% as our whole quantity. So we'll just simply subtract 6 in order to get the opposite. That means the number of all the percentage of students who like all the subjects or any one of the subjects. Okay, so which is CT union S union M, which is 94%. Okay, right. So in the step 2 we are having this formula. This formula is a very basic one, and this is given in the set theory video. So this formula says that n of CT union S union M will be n of CT plus n of S n of M minus their intersections. All the intersection will get subtracted, and at last this thing, which is the intersection of all three things, will be get added. Okay, so we'll just put the values which we have got from here and here. So we'll get, we are having this CT intersection M intersection as S as 20%. So this thing is denoting that that the student like all these three subjects. Okay, CT and M and S statistics. Okay, or the percentage of students who like all these three subjects. So they have made a Venn diagram also, but I don't think it is needed here for this question number A. Okay, so we just find the 20% of 1000, which is 200. Okay, so this is solved. The next question says find the number of students who like only one of the three subjects. So for this, Venn diagram is very handy. So we are having this part, which is the intersection part of all three sets as 20%. We are writing percentages only. So if this is 20% and it is given that the intersection of CT and M is 30. Okay, as we can see here, intersection of CT and M is 30. So if 20 is there in this, then 10 is left for this area. Okay, the intersection part of CT and M only. Okay, and similarly we are having for CT and S is 5, and for statistics and mathematics we are having 8. Okay, and then we'll just subtract in order to get this part only, which is there only CT part and only S part and only the M part, which would be nothing but, since all that is number of students who like CT was 52. So but this CT set is containing this part also, this part also, this part also, and this part also. So this whole thing is actually 52%. Okay, this whole thing is actually 52%. So we'll just subtract the other intersection points, like 50, from 52 we'll subtract 5, 20 and 10, so we'll get 17, and similarly in all other sets we'll get this. So we are ready with our when we are ready with our Venn diagram, then we'll be able to solve the rest of the questions very easily. Find the number of students who like only one of the three subjects. So only one subject. So this part in each set will denote that a student is liking only one subject. Okay, this part which I am shading. So we'll just add the percentages. We'll just add the percentages of these parts, which is nothing but 17% plus 12% plus 22% of 1000. So which will give us the result as 510. Okay, find the number of students who like at least two of the given subject. So for finding the number of students who liked two subjects, these parts are helpful, which I am highlighting, these parts. Okay, yeah, this one. So we'll just add the percentages which are there in these parts, which is 10 plus 5 plus 8 plus 20. And how 20 is there? Because it says that at least two, that means there can be three subjects. So this intersection part will also be covered. Okay, intersection of all three set part, which is 20, which will also be added. So 10 plus 5 plus 8 plus 20 of 1000, which is 430. Moving ahead. Yes, this question is also very interesting. Consider triangle ABC. The line segments AB, BC, and CA represent the sides of triangle ABC. It is given that angle ABC is equal to angle BCA is equal to alpha. Angle ABC is equal to angle BCA is equal to alpha, where alpha is an acute angle. Alpha is acute. Okay, very nice. So yes, based on this information, answer the following question. Which of the following options are correct? So we'll just first assume the given lines as line 1 or line 2. So we have taken this line as line 1 and this line as line 2. So if we are given a general equation like this, so and we know that this is also a kind of equation, so let's just make this equation in the form of this, so we'll get more idea about how to proceed in this question. So we'll just put ax and c in the RHS. So we are left with by is equal to minus ax minus c, y is equal to minus a by bx minus c by a. So so we can, if we compare this equation with this one, then we can say that slope of any line can be given by a minus a of b. What is a? It's the coefficient of x, and what is b? It's the coefficient of y. So from this information we can find that slope of L1 is 1 upon 2. So we are having slope as minus a upon b. What is a? The coefficient of x, which is minus 1, and there is one minus here also, and here is 2, so it is just half. Okay, and similarly slope of line L2 is 2. So let us check which of the following options are correct. Slope of line segment AB is half, which is correct. Slope of line segment BC is not minus half or minus 1 by 2. So this is wrong. Tan of alpha. Yes, let's proceed to find the angle. Okay, so if we know the slopes of these two lines, this line and this line, then we can find the angle of intersection which we have for which we are having an easy formula which is written here. So tan alpha is mod of m1 minus m2 upon 1 plus m1 into m2. So we'll just put the values and we'll get tan alpha as 3 by 4. Okay, so here the option is wrong, that tan alpha is minus 1.2, and the fourth option is correct because tan alpha is 3 by 4. Okay, second option. Second question says, which of the following option represent the equation of line AC? So if we have to find the equation of line AC, then it is a helpful thing here that we can know we know that we know one of the passing point of line AC, which is 5 2. So yes, so let m1, m2 and m3, so let the slope of AC be m3. Okay, so now if this is alpha, then tan alpha is equal to 3 by 4 for is true for this angle also. So we'll just find if we take the slope as m3 and the slope of this line is known, so we can just easily find this angle A. Okay, and we know the tan of this angle A, so we can find m3 actually. Okay, which is done here. So tan of alpha is 3 by 4, and we have just taken this thing as m1 minus m3 in here. Okay, so this would become, this was our line 2. Okay, so it would become m2 minus m3 and m2 into m3 over here. Okay, so we have just put it down the values, and we have got, so there would be two cases. Okay, because we have to remove this mod sign also. So if we take the positive mod, then we'll get this as half, which is line 1. Okay, so we'll discard this case because this is actually taken. So this is actually the required slope, which is 11 minus 11 by 2. So as L3 passes through 5 by 2 and slope of L3, so we can just easily find the equation of line L3 by any of the form. Either we can take a point slope form. Okay, because there is one point and the slope is given, so we just find from this m3 is equal to half, we got this, which is actually line L1. Okay, and from this minus 11 upon 2 we have got this, and actually the equation of line L3 is this. Okay, let's move forward. Yes, this question is nothing but the solving of SSE. So we'll just yeah, the question says that Rizwan wants to cross the river represented by Rx is equal to this function, where k is an integer constant. He chooses to cross the river Rx using the bridge. In order to cross the river, he has to identify the coordinates of the point A. He realizes that the coordinates of point A can be identified in such a way that the curve Rx can be the best fit according to the data given in the table. Consider the river and the bridge to be of negligible thickness. Okay, so the river and bridge we have to consider as negligible thickness. Based on based on these information, answer the following questions. So this is, we are given the values from which we have to calculate. Okay, so this should be known, this formula for finding SSE. Okay, so this is nothing but fit value minus obtained value, and we'll just square it, and we'll find the value in values of this in terms of k. So we'll just put the values in this thing, and we are having 15 minus k whole squared as our first value. And if you will put all of these values in your with reference to the function which was given to you, and just put it in this, then you will get all these things as same, which is 15 minus k whole squared. Okay, so what would be the SSE? SSE would be the addition of all these things, that is 5 into 15 minus k whole square. So this is a quadratic equation in k, so its minimum value will be at its vertex. Okay, so we know that the abscissa of vertex is minus b upon 2a. So just put, if you don't know the shortcut, then just put then just expand it and put the values so as to get this k is equal to 15. So we have got the k, which is 15. Okay, and using the above information, what will be the value of y coordinate of point A? Okay, so it is evident that if the abscissa of this point is 0, 20 and abscissa of this point is 0, then abscissa of this A point will also be 0, because these 3 points are collinear. Okay, so yes, so we'll just put the value. We have the value of k over here, which is 15, and if we take this as rx, which is actually rx, and just put the value of k, and we know that the value of x is 0, so we'll get the value of y, which is 22.5. Okay, so this is also solved. Next question: which of the following statements are correct? Okay, this is a multiple select question. The product of minimum value of the function fx is equal to 5 mod x plus 10, and the maximum value of the function gx is equal to 10 minus mod of x plus 12 is 100. Okay, so we know that mod of that the graph of mod function is something like this, and we'll just adjust according to the given condition, but it would remain like this. Okay, so the minimum value will always be 0, so the minimum value of this function will be 10, and the maximum value of this function will also be 10, because if we'll put any of the values of x here, the value will keep on decreasing. Okay, and this is actually negative of mod, which will make it inverted. This graph will get inverted, so inverted about this thing. So the maximum of gx will again be 10, and their multiplication will be 100. So this option is correct, which is written here also. Okay, yes, 100. So this option is correct. There are infinitely many polynomials px of degree 4, such that p4 is equal to 0, p5 is equal to 0, p6 is equal to 0. Okay, so given that factors of px are x minus 4 into x minus 5 into x minus 6, right, and it is a 4-degree polynomial. But from this thing, it is shown that there are this will result in a 3-degree polynomial. Okay, so px can be any polynomial depending on the other factor and the stretch factor. So there must be one more factor containing x, and there can be some stretch factors. Okay, let us assume that the remaining factor is x minus 2, and these 3 are as it is. So this is one polynomial, but what about the stretch factor? Okay, this can be anything, and this can also be anything. We have just assumed it. Okay, So depending upon these two things, there can be infinitely many polynomials. Okay. Yeah. So this option is again very correct. Y minus 4 is equal to x plus 5 whole squared is an equation of the parabola whose vertex is at minus 5, 4. So this is again correct, because the equation of quadratic equation in vertex form is given as y minus k is equal to ax minus h square, where hk are the vertex of the quadratic equations. Okay, so comparing this, which was our given equation, with this will give us h is equal to minus 5 and k is equal to 4. So the vertex is minus 5, 4, which is the correct option. Elements in Cartesian product will only be in pairs. So no, they can be triplets, etc. Okay. So Cartesian products can be triplets also, because what happens if we just, you know, we just find the Cartesian product of one product with some another element, so we can have triplets also. Okay, so let's move ahead. This is question number 7. So this question is a very easy one. Yeah, the equation of the line joining points minus 2, 0 to the point of intersection of lines this is equidistant from the point this. So we first have to find the intersection point of these two lines, which is found for you here, this. So x is equal to 0, so the point of intersection of these two lines is 0, 2, and you know how to solve these two equations, how to solve linear equation in two variables just by either elimination or by substitution. So we have found out this, and the equation of line L. So what is the line? The line which we need to get was passing through this point and the point of intersection of these. So we'll first find the equation of that line, which will be this, using 2-point form. What was the 2-point form? y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1 x minus x1 is equal to y minus y. This was the 2-point form. Just put the values and you will get the equation. And we again know that the distance of point from line L, any point, is given by this formula. So just one by one put all the 2 points which were given, which is 0, 0 and 2, 2, and we will get that both of them are equal. So the point is equidistant from these 2 points, are equidistant from the line. Okay. This question is again just nothing but algebra. Okay, there are a total of 300 rupees is raised by group A by collecting equal amounts of certain number of people. Another group B contains 5 more people and each person contributes 10 rupees less to raise the same amount as that of group A. Based on the information given below, answer the following questions. Okay, how many people actually contributed in group A? What is the contribution made by each person in group B? So taking the case of group A, let the number of people be x. Okay, contribution of each person will be 300 upon x. How this happened? Because there were the total amount which was raised by group A was 300 rupees. Okay, and it is given that they are collecting equal amounts. So the number of the contribution made by each person will be nothing but 300 divided by x, which is just unitary method. Okay, taking the case of group B, contribution of each person is 300 upon x minus 10. Why this has happened? Another group B contains 5 more people. Okay, people are 5 more, and each person contributes 10 rupees less to raise as same amount in. So contribution of each person in A was 300 upon x, and in B it is 300 upon x minus 10, because they are contributing 10% less, 10 rupees less. Number of person will be x plus 5, because group B was group A is actually having more money in the contribution, and group B is actually having more people in the contribution. So group B raises the same amount, so we'll just raises same amount, that is 300. So the product of these two things will result in 300. Okay, contribution by each person into the number of people, which has been done here. So we'll just solve this and we'll get a quadratic equation, and solution of this quadratic equation will result in two values, which in which one would be positive and another would be negative. So we can't take negative 15, okay, because number of people can't be negative. We can't say that there were minus 15 people who were contributing. So 10 is the most suitable answer. So thus the number of people who actually contributed in group A is 10, and contribution made by each person in group B is 300 upon 10 minus 10, okay, which is 20. So the answer of both of the questions are done. This is nothing but just simple algebra. Yeah, this question. Suppose the functions fx is equal to minus x square plus 4x minus k, and gx is equal to x square minus kx plus 4 intersect at most at one point where k belongs to z. Based upon this information, answer the following question. Which of the following could be the value of k? Okay, so this point is very important. Intersect at most at one point. Okay, this point is actually to be highlighted. Okay, yeah. So given that fx and gx intersect, so that means that they are having equal values at that point. So we just have equated both of them, and we've got a quadratic equation in terms of k. Okay, so we have taken this equation as equation 1, and given that they intersect at most at one point. Okay, so this is very important. That means not more than one point. That means they might not they either not be intersecting at all, and they are intersecting at exactly one point. Therefore there are two possibilities which we have dealt with. Okay, now the next thing which it is saying is discriminant d of equation 1 should be d less than equal to 0. Why so? Because because we need to solve this equation, okay, to get the values of k. So if these two equations are not intersecting, that means k is not having any value, or k is not having any value for this equation. So so this condition is only possible if the discriminant is less than 0, and both curve intersect at exactly one point. For this must be having the same root, and for this d has to be equal to 0. So the condition becomes d should be less than or equal to 0. Okay, so we'll just put the value of d, and we will find that, yeah, this point is very important. We won't just do which we used to do in our lesser classes, that equating. For this we'll make a sign scheme. Okay, minus 4 and 4, and since it says that it has to be less than or equal to 0, we'll put any value in between this. Let's put 0, we'll get negative. So this is negative, this is positive, this is positive. So this value, this interval is actually of our need, so which we have put. So whenever there is a quadratic function or quadratic quadratic function we would say, and in the condition of an inequality, then the answer is generally an interval. And since all the values of k that are belonging to the set of integers, so there won't be any rational numbers. So the the favorable answers can be -4, 3, 2, -2, -1 and up to 4. So the cardinality of, let us say, this is some set k is 9. Okay. Possible number of values of is 9 and value of k is 4. Yeah, the last one. Consider two polynomial function px, which is given by this, and qx, which is this, defined in the interval 1 to 10. Okay. A line Lx passes through x-intercept and x-intercept of px and the intersection of point px and qx. Very nice. Then which of the following is correct? The x-intercept of px in the given domain is 5. Yeah. So the option says the x-intercept of px in the given domain is 5. So to find the x-intercept, we need to first draw a rough figure which has been drawn here. Okay. So yeah. So for px is actually having 3 factors. Okay. And the domain is, yeah, this has to be kept in mind that domain has been restricted. So from 1 to 10, it is having 1 as one of its factor, 5 and 10. And since this is a cubic polynomial, so it will have 2 turning points. So the graph would be like this, which has been drawn in the figure. Okay, for px, the blue line. And for qx, it's the red line because it's just a quadratic polynomial having 2 factors as 1 and 10. Okay, good. So it says that x-intercept of px in the given domain is 5. So yes, since this is the x-axis, this is nothing but the x-axis. So the intercepts are made in the interval of 5, 5. So x-intercept is 5. In the given domain, px has 2 turning points. Of course, it will have 2 turning point because as it's a what, cubic polynomial. So it will have 2 turning points of this and this. Both options are correct. The x coordinate of the vertex of qx is 5.5. This can be easily found out using this formula. Just solve this and get the values of b and 2a and we'll get 5.5. This option is also correct. And the x coordinate of the intersection point of px and qx is 9. So yes, for this we are having this calculations. Note that the domain has to be noted down because this is very important. Intersection point of px and qx can be found by just equating them. So just simply equate them and they will get cancelled. Right? No, they have not cancelled it. Yes, we'll take it here and we'll take out this thing as common, and through this and through all these calculations, they will first equate this. The answer would be 1, and from here we'll get 9 because 4 plus 5 would become 9 and 10. And 1 and 10 are not in the domain. Yes, because the domain is having the interval 1 and 10. These are open intervals. So 1 and 10 both are not included. Okay, so if we actually make the graph, it will be just a whole like thing. Okay, which will mean that 1 and 10 are not included in the domain. So yes, the x coordinate is 9, so this option is also correct. Okay, what is the slope of line LX? So in order to find the slope, what we'll do, we have found the x-axis, so it's very easy now to find the y coordinate, which is minus 3.2, and the slope will be just found out by this thing, y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Okay, the line actually will pass from the point 9 minus 3.2 and the x-intercept, which is 0, no, 5, 0. Okay, so we can just find the slope using the formula m is equal to y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Okay, yeah, so we have solved this paper. We have understood the concept behind each and every questions, and this is all. So thank you.